Hey there YouTube, this is Mr. MPQ, your source in the Southwest for all things Marvel Puzzle Quest, coming to you live from Phoenix, Arizona on this September 1st, 2016, very late in the evening, possibly September 2nd for those of you in a more eastern time zone. I'm not sure where all my subscribers are from, but if you'd like to leave a comment below and just let me know who you are and where you're from, that would be wonderful for me just to get an idea of who's watching these. I know the count goes up every day, but I'd like to get to know the fan base a little bit more. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome. If this is a regular subscription for you, thank you for your continued support. Every thumb up, every like, share, subscribe does go a long way and is always appreciated. In this video, I just wanted to do a quick review of Spider-Woman, the new 4-star character from Marvel Puzzle Quest. It's Jessica Drew. She's got the updated, more modern looking costume rather than the older version that a lot of people are familiar with. So I just recruited her, and I want to take a look at her abilities and what that would look like on a team, who she'd pair well with, and what she can do. So let's take a look, shall we? Back out of my rewards there, and you can see my roster went from 105 to 106 now. All 4-star characters start at level 70, I believe. So we're just going to scroll till we find her. There she is. And I did unlock her black ability, which is Seeking Redemption. So first of all, let's look at her health. It's just over 4,000. Her abilities are going to be purple, red, and black, as you can tell by the higher AP damage numbers there. So Seeking Redemption is the one cover that I got, and Spider-Woman jumps headlong into battle to aid her friends darting around and deflecting attacks, places a 4-turn countdown on the board. While active, Spider-Woman intercepts targeted attacks, resisting 10% of the damage dealt. If the attack is below 584 damage, she dodges, resisting 75% of the damage. So, this is a familiar ability, similar to Colossus's yellow ability, where he steps to the front of the line and, as the ability increases, absorbs more and more of, or should I say less and less of the damage. Also similar is Deadpool, where his black ability, Life of the Party, allows him to intercept damage and then heals himself, which is a nice little variant on this. So this is neat in the fact that if it's a huge amount of damage, she's still going to take 10% off of it. If it's a smaller attack, less than 584, then she's going to resist 75% of it, which means it's going to be even that much less damage. So let's take a look down below at level 2. Is going to resist 20%, and if the attack is below 712, resist 80% of the damage. Still a 4-turn countdown tile at level 3, and it's going to resist 30% of the normal attack. If it's below 835, dodging, resisting 85%. At level 4 is going to resist 50% of the attacks for a 4-turn countdown, and if the damage is below 1110, resist 95%. This is all at level 70, of course, without leveling it up. I'm sure these numbers will change as she gets stronger at higher levels. And at level 5, for a 9 black AP cost, it's still going to be a 4-turn countdown. That part doesn't change, it looks like. While active, Spider-Woman intercepts targeted attacks, resisting 70% of the damage dealt, and if it's below 2570, resists 100% of the damage. So this would be a great tank type ability. If you know that you have some goon countdown tiles that are going to be setting off like machine gun or pistol or something, where it's going to be less than 2570, of course maybe even below a higher level of damage at higher levels, She's just going to sit there and absorb it and not take any damage whatsoever. Very useful ability. I would love to get this one leveled up, especially for some of those harder battles with lots of countdown tiles going off at the same time. So, her purple ability, to Love and Fear, it's a 8 AP cost. This one is interesting because it's kind of a random ability, similar to Moon Knight's purple ability, where at the start of battle, basically he can either create attack tiles by matching black. I think he does increased damage with matching green, and then adding strike tiles as well, I think by matching black. So or there's some combination of that. Without looking at it, I'd have to go back. But anyways, it's a variant ability which basically rendering her prey helpless, infatuated, or mortally terrified. So if Love is chosen, removes up to 1 enemy special tile. If Fear is chosen, creates 3 hidden trap tiles, dealing 1047 damage if matched by the enemy. At level 2, it's going to remove up to 2 enemy tiles, and the traps create 3 hidden traps that deal 1466 if matched by the enemy. At level 3, it removes 3 enemy special tiles. Trap tiles deal 1885. At level 4, there's going to be 5 enemy special tiles removed, so can be very useful against the Magia thugs that use Threaten, and they just start putting out all those special attack tiles, or strike tiles rather, that are usually very high in damage increase. And Bullseye, who puts out the defense tiles quite often. If you're playing against Beast, who has all those friendly tiles that he puts out, this one's going to be very useful for clearing all of those. Trap tiles deal 2042, and there's 4 of those instead of 3, so at level 4 this is already a very potent ability. And at level 5, removes up to 6 enemy special tiles, and 4 trap tiles that deal 3288 damage if matched by the enemy. So that is also has potential to be good or not so great if there are no special tiles on the board and Love is chosen. It can really just be a waste of 8 AP. Trap tiles only deal damage if matched by the enemy, so it doesn't give you the option to deal damage if matched by yourself, similar to Daredevil's ambush ability, or X23 has a tracking prey, which is also a purple ability, that sets traps where if you match it, it does deal some damage, usually at a lesser rate, but this one is only if the enemy matches the tile, they take the damage. So oh, and Deadpool, X-Force Deadpool has a wonderful purple ability that sets the trap tiles countdowns, and usually does a lot of damage depending on, it doesn't matter whether you match or they match. So this one could be limited in its use or in its practicality, so to speak. System Shock is 14 AP cost, and that's pretty high. Usually abilities that are that high generally do a significant amount of damage. So let's take a look at this one. Spider-Woman unloads her stored bioelectricity on the enemy team, so it's a team-based attack, dealing 954 to the target and 204 damage to all other enemies, and stuns a random enemy for 1 turn. Okay, so at level 2. 1488 to the target and 296 to all other enemies, stuns a random enemy for 1 turn. So just like to point out, that's a pretty significant jump. That's 500 extra just at that 1 level. So going up to 3, goes up to 1679. So not as high of a jump there, but it does bump up the team damage to 335 and stuns a random enemy for 2 turns. At level 4 is going to deal 2700 to the target, 557 to the other enemies, and stun a random enemy for 2 turns. And at level 5 deals a whopping 4446 damage to the target up front, dealing 910 damage to other enemies, stuns a random enemy for 3 turns. So this one is definitely worth maxing out. If I had to have my choice, or if I could have my choice of Spider-Woman, it would probably be a 5-3. Let me see. 5-3-5? Because definitely Sinking Redemption is awesome for the defense. Love and Fear, just because you don't really know. Like, there's potential to make those trap tiles, and it could deal a lot of damage. 3 at 1885, that's almost 6,000 damage. Not quite, but almost. If it was 3 trap tiles very close together, or somewhere that they could be matched in sequence, that has some potential there. System Shock, I love team damages, AoE attacks. Basically, it's the best way to get at Iron Man in the Civil War event, which is going on right now, when he has House Party Protocol, and those drones take the upfront damage for him. With this one, it just is going to attack everybody all at once. If anybody's hidden or invisible, like Miles Morales invisibility, or Professor X invisibility, Invisible Woman invisibility, this kind of attack, the team-based attack, will still hit them even if they're hidden and invisible. So, great way to get at those characters who can't be hit with other attacks. It is a very high AP cost, but for the damage output, and I'm looking at it at level 70, so any of these damage-based attacks, as you level them up, the damage does increase significantly. So I would definitely want this to be one of my primary attacks here is with red. So, a little bit about Jessica Drew. If you're unfamiliar with Spider-Woman, it's not a sister of Peter Parker, who is the Spider-Man we know and love. Basically, her parents were Hydra scientists and gave her spider-like abilities with a genetic experiment to save her life. So, she's a member of the Avengers. She's on Team Cap. She's in the Heroes affiliation. So if you're using Civil War Steve Rogers, the 5-star Captain America, and using that ability that relies on Team Cap characters to be on your team, Spider-Woman would be one of those characters. So, with a black, red, purple move set, I would definitely look to pair her with blue, green, and yellow, obviously. Somebody like Model 40 Iron Man, who generates red AP, would be very useful in getting the, forgot the name of it already, System Shock maxed out, or able to use fairly quickly. Somebody like Hood, who steals AP, Black Widow, those are all great ones to use. There's lots of teams that I could see her on, especially with a black tank ability like that. You could even use with Iron Fist, and just, whether you need to put out offense or defense, use it in a situation to make the most of that black ability. Seeking Redemption. As far as 4 stars, I probably have to play around a little bit, see where she would fit. I've been doing a lot with 3-star teams lately, so that's kind of where my focus is right now. So right offhand, I don't have a good 4-star team that I could put her on. I would probably use Thing. Thing would be a great 4-star to pair her with. There is the overlap of the red ability, but with the tank ability from Seeking Redemption, absorbing damage, and the yellow ability from Thing, that's another one that intercepts and places defense tiles, protect tiles. So that would be a great combination of defense just to keep the team alive that much longer. The green ability of Thing to just do damage and clear the board would probably outweigh the ability of his red one, even though it does have a stun factor. System Shock does have a stun factor as well, but it's randomized. So I would probably use level 5 on Jessica Drew red ability over level 5 Thing when they're paired together. That covers pretty much everything but blue, so a 4-star character with a good blue ability maybe even Cyclops. 4-star Cyclops is great with his leadership ability. Every time you match those team up tiles and it generates AP in the strongest color. For this team, I can imagine would be red depending on the power levels of the characters. However, I do think, let's see, in this one it would be black if it was paired with a similar level of Jessica Drew and Cyclops. Like I said, depends on the level of the characters that you have on the team. You always want to try to have, for the most part, balanced power levels. Sometimes with running into champion covers for characters, you might not always have that option. It might not be as simple as, just putting these characters together because their abilities work well. If one character is too high, then it's going to throw off the balance of the team, and you may lose that character to all the attacks because they're the ones that are going to be up front when you're matching tiles. So just a little bit of extra strategy talk there. Nothing's really specific to this character. However, I hope you guys enjoyed this little talk about Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman, the new 4-star Spider-esque character on Marvel Puzzle Quest. If you guys did like the video, don't forget to leave a quick thumbs up. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends, link it up on social media. You can follow me on Twitter as Mr. MPQ at @MR_MPQ. And until next time, keep on questing.